Hey, Karen. Hey, Genevieve. Happy Sunday. We're going to get started. Genevieve, if you could just write in the chat if you're just going to be listening and following along today, or if you'll be able to go through the exercises, that would be great.
I guess I would be able to go at least through most of the exercises. I'll put the camera in 2 minutes.
Great, great. Awesome. So just to review, well, actually, I want to kind of introduce, I know Karen is new. She wasn't here last week. And we might have Lori and Cynthia coming in today as well. So Genevieve, me Karen, Karen, me Genevieve. Um, so you both have some things in common, right? So Genevieve, you were a retired social worker, right? Karen's an active social worker. Karen's in New York and Florida, and she sees an active client base, and Genevieve's looking to get back into that type of work to support what's happening in Israel and those deep challenges folks are facing out there. And I believe, Genevieve, you mentioned, was it more young people that you were interested in working with, or was it across the board?
No, across the board.
Gotcha. Great. So Karen's been in our community for a while. She's been through a few trainings and she watched the replay from last week. So just to summarize, last week was really about really learning stress stopper breath work to have the experience of listening to something that was stressing us out, but also breathing into the tension and releasing it so we could be clear and present to support anyone that's in front of us. So the first person we have to help is ourselves. The first person we have to save is ourselves so that we don't get burnt out from doing this work. And Genevieve, from what you shared in the past, burnout was a big thing. And Karen, I know burnout is something that um, anyone that works in our field faces at one time or another. So this is like really the first step out of the starting gate is the self-care in the moment. Um, Genevieve, quick question I wanted to ask you from last week. Was there any shift or difference in how you experienced that stressor that we talked about in our last session? Um, there was one kind of primary stress type that we were talking about. And then I know you and Kim did a lot of the exercises. So I was just curious in how your week was in that.
I was reminded about it from time to time, and I
Mhm.
thought it was wonderful. I cannot say that I was always aware of it, but
Mhm.
very often I was reminded about it. And today something a bit different happened, but something happened, and I just felt calmer.
You felt what?
More calm.
Calm.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Great.
It's calm in France, in French.
Yes. All right, awesome. So yeah, and that's the goal, just to be a little bit more calm so we could stay more present and we don't get overwhelmed with all the stress. Um, and then Kim, I was just checking in with Genevieve. How you doing?
Good.
And Kim, I know you know Karen. Karen, you know Kim.
Hi.
Yeah, we're in a
And
few
you
other
were one
programs.
of the reasons why I really joined. Because I was like, why didn't I join this? And I was like, you know what? I had things going on. But when I saw your shift and your change from the story that you shared, I was like, and then I listened to the replay. I was like, so I thank you, Kim, because you were actually really the inspiration. Because I was like,
Oh,
oh, why am I going to do this? I've done different trainings with Brett, and then I was like, I was so amazed. Genevieve, we're in another group, and I'm not going to share Kim's story, but she can do that if she wants. But I was so impressed with the way she handled something, and that, I just felt this deep sense like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I could ever do something like that. And so that's kind of what called me. And then watching you, Brett, on the replay, just how present, I mean, I know how present you are, but just your active listening and how you get stuff that comes through you. I've said this to you before, and we've talked about it.
Mhm.
Again, that was the inspiration what is it that I may need to go a little bit deeper, do a little bit more so I can have those capabilities?
So today's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to give you a little insight about what today is going to be. But then I want Kim to share her story if she can briefly, so Genevieve hears it too. So today, when we're talking to someone, we're listening, and it's like, we have these tools. It feels like we're gardening and we're chewing gum and we're talking on the phone. And then we got to brush our hair too. So now we got to hold the phone this way. We got to brush our hair. And okay, so because there's going to be four techniques that we're going to be doing at the same time,
Mm.
but we're going to work our way up to it. So the four techniques are being able to listen to someone in front of us telling us something emotional, breathing, letting go of our own stress, right? Leaning in with the right body language, and then using the five prompts. And as their pain starts to come out, then we're going to guide them through the same breath work that we're doing internally. Now, that seems like a lot, and it is from the outside looking in. But as we go through it step by step, we're going to add each stage after we practice the one that we're on. So, right now, we're going to start with just understanding our body language. Then we're going to add in stress stopper breath work. We're going to add in the five prompts. And that I feel is the key because for me, it all comes natural. And when I train in corporate classes, I list out all the body language stuff and I go, you could do all of this, which is overwhelming when you go through all the points, or you could remain present and it'll happen automatically. And then like, okay, I want to remain present. But so the idea is we're going to slowly integrate these techniques today, and then you're going to start to see how they work together. And then it's going to start to come natural. And when it starts to come natural after a certain number of repetitions, right? That's when you got it. So what I mean is this, when someone tells you something and you realize, oh wow, I'm having a big reaction, you breathe into it, your body knows what you want because you have so many repetitions with it, the stress just leaves. And then you automatically lean in and you're like, tell me more. All that happens at the same time, right? And it's just a matter of the repetitions to see how it all works together and playing in a safe space and practicing in a safe space. And after a while, all those techniques merge into one moment. And when you hear something stressful, you end up taking a deep breath, leaning in, please tell me more. Breathing again when they start to open up, I want to hear everything. Releasing your stress. And then when the real big emotion comes out, hey, I want you to touch the tension, breathe into it. What emotion does it feel like? Now they start to open up. It feels like sadness. What does that sadness want to say? All with the good body language, all with the good tone. And then it just pulls their pain right out of the body. And it becomes a natural experience, just like the way a brook is flowing over the rocks and going over, just kind of like meandering down. It's nice and easy. It's in the natural flow of things. So we're going to play and practice together to get there. So funny thing is, Kim had an experience on Thursday, not to blow you up, Kim, but you're awesome.
That's okay.
And I am. But she did all this without even thinking of it. It just kind of blopped out.
Yeah.
Right? So if you could just, kind of like summarize the experience and what, happened, that would be great.
Um, well, I have a plethora of various doctor's appointments, and I was at one, and a couple came in behind me, and I was just sitting, and they were in a tense moment. I mean, they were cursing at each other and dickering, pretending to be under their breath, and they did not sit together. And the young lady sat next to me. And she noticed the book I was reading and she said, "Oh, I knew that." And I just felt her sadness. And I just leaned in and I spoke to her. I said, "You want to breathe with me?" And she did. And I'm trying to keep it very short. We had several moments, and she got a little teary, and she just moved and she was homeless in Westchester. I started getting all of that, and then I didn't do it as smoothly as you. Didn't do the tell me more, the whole thing. I just had her immediately breathe and do all of this. Well, her partner got up, who was witnessing all of this, and he was not happy. and came over and was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And he even, in a way, he felt that he couldn't penetrate, he couldn't bring, more that I thought about it, he couldn't bring ugly into, almost like we were protected. We were there, and he couldn't infiltrate it with his, and that gave her
Now, hold
more
on, wait.
peace.
Hold on. What do you
Yeah,
think he could not affect? What is the thing that you're talking about?
the peace that was between she and I
And
in
where did
that
that start from?
space. It
Where did that
started from
piece
her
start?
breath. It started from me,
Even
her,
you.
me.
It started
Yeah,
from you.
yeah,
So that he came over, so that's two people in a row that sat next to you or came over to you with a big
yeah.
attitude that did not disrupt your inner connection to peace.
No, no. Which, so I, naturally, if something is going well, I stayed with it for a while, and she seemed so happy, and I did the card thing, and she wanted to know more. And as a matter of fact, I need more of your stress cards. I was giving them out. I made photocopies of it, and I was giving them out on paper, but I think I need the real
Yeah, we
deal.
have a bunch of them. I'll definitely
Okay.
give them. Yeah.
So, and I don't just leave them around. I actually give them, usually only to people I know. But
We could have them in your
anyway,
store if you want, because we have little
yeah,
holders
okay.
for them. And we,
Well, I'd rather do paper there because people have a tendency to just take shit because it's free,
mm,
and then you know what I mean. I don't want to do that.
yeah,
That's why I started using like cardstock paper.
right.
So anyway, so it was diffused. She gets up to go into her doctor appointment, and this guy comes over and sits next to me, which I did not expect. And as the young lady is walking in, she says, "Yeah, you need to talk her up. You need to talk her up. You'll feel better." Who knew? And what I took away from it is so much confidence. I felt like I could trust my intuition. I could trust my instinct. Maybe a little too much, but I'll learn how to hone that, I think. I'll
Hmm.
learn how to know when, all right, now you're too much in it, and how to back off a little bit of that while still allowing the peace and the desire to help somebody to take front and center. Because you know what's really weird? You know what happened to me when a follow-up appointment, when was that? That was Thursday, Friday after our class.
Hmm.
I'm at the same place, and I'm just there for a script. And there's a couple, and they're dickering. And I was mad at the woman, so I didn't interject at all because she was not being nice to this guy that was there, and he was there for a mental health appointment. She was calling him stupid, and so I knew not to venture into that ugliness. So he got up and went into the hallway to get away from her. So I went up and I followed, and I was gonna, but then she followed. And I thought, I was just going to give him one of my bracelets, not say anything, tell him it's going to be all right. Because that's really what I felt like. And I went out there and he wasn't there, but she was. And I thought, well, I'm not talking to her. And then all of a sudden the peace came over me. And I went, you know what? I was going to talk to, and I didn't know who this guy was to her. I said, I was going to talk to, is that your brother? She said, no, it's my stupid boyfriend. He's always doing something. I went, oh, yeah, I know that happens a lot. Anyway, overhearing because they were very loud. I was overhearing a bit of what he was saying, and I have these bracelets that just bring me peace, and maybe it'll do the same for him because I think it's going to be okay. And she looked at me, and I couldn't tell if she was going to punch me in the face or what she was going to do because I couldn't pick it up then. And she went, "Wow, he'll really like that, and you're going to let him keep it?" And I said, "Absolutely." She said, "What is it?" I said, "It doesn't matter. I was going to give her crystal lessons. I said, it's been blessed, it's been worn, it's been proven to help me, and I'm ready to get rid of it for somebody else to use." She was so excited. Now, I didn't see if anything changed or anything because
Hmm.
then my number came up, but it feels good and it feels right.
Yes. So the thing is, as we go through this process, the true you starts to emerge more and more
Mm.
because your body feels safe, even in the presence of a stress stimulus, right? That's usually where we want to protect ourselves, but you feel safe, and the true you wants to connect with the other person. You went to the rogue wave. The rogue wave was actually the problem, which was the woman in that case,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
So she
Hmm.
was the one, the antagonist, right? The
Oh,
other guy
absolutely.
is the guy with a lot of problems.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you actually gave it, you connected with the right person in
Did
that
I?
situation. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Okay.
So if you think about it, who is more, for lack of better terms, messed up? The person with a mental health issue or a
No,
mental illness, or the person that is
yeah,
antagonizing that person,
yeah. It was her.
making it worse, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. So
Oh,
so this kind of process just brings us into a feeling of safety where that true self emerges when we are facing those situations. Now, in time, you're going to learn how to handle this and how to steer it. I recommend you let it come to you. You let it come to you and it will. It will come to you. You're not going to have to chase it down, right? It'll come to you. Um, so I want to get
it's exciting.
into
It's exciting.
it is. It is.
It,
It's
it,
new
it,
versions of ourselves
it,
are emerging every day.
yeah, 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 yeah.
It is. And there's no limit. Once you get into it, there's no limit. It just starts to unfold, you know? So awesome. And then I want to welcome Lori. Lori, great to see you. So Lori, I want you to meet Genevieve. Genevieve is in Israel and Lori is in California. And
Hi,
Lori and
Genevieve.
Kim
Nice to
and
meet you.
Karen are in a few other programs together that we have.
Nice to meet you.
So we just reviewed last week, got a little feedback from this week, what happened in between our classes. And I just want to do a few affirmations just to start out our class to set the space, for the afternoon. And if you don't have any background noise, you can come off of mute and we'll do the affirmations together. So I'll say it first and then you'll repeat it. Okay. If you're in a place where you could say affirmations. So the first one is I'm safe.
I am
I'm
safe.
safe.
He's safe.
He's safe.
She's safe.
She's
She's
safe.
safe.
We're all safe.
We're
We're
all
all
safe.
safe.
I'm in a loving place.
I'm in a loving place.
I'm in a loving space.
I'm in a loving space.
We're all safe.
We're all safe.
We're just learning.
We're just learning.
You're just learning.
I'm safe
I'm safe.
Safe
in a loving space.
in a loving space.
We are safe
We are safe
in a loving space.
in a loving space.
All right. So we're going to start out with body language. Okay. To do that, does everyone have a pen and a piece of paper to write with?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm going to hang for Genevieve just for a second to get a pen and a paper. We're just going to answer 2 questions. Cool. So we'll wait for Lori to pop back in. So the first question is the most peaceful part of my last 2 weeks was, or the most peaceful moment in my last 2 weeks was, and I want you to answer that in one sentence. Was when I was walking on the beach. So Lauren, in case you didn't get that, it's the most peaceful moment in my last 2 weeks was when I was meditating for an hour, when I was walking on the beach, when I was walking the dog, when I was having my coffee in the woods, whenever it was. And just take a moment and really reflect on that. The most peaceful moment of my last 2 weeks was. Everybody got their answer? Okay. The next question is, or the next fill in the blank is, the most challenging moment of my last 2 weeks was. Look back in the last 2 weeks. What was the most challenging moment? That's the most stressful moment, the most emotional moment. Okay. Did everyone get that? So the most peaceful moment of my last 2 weeks and the most challenging moment of my last 2 weeks. Okay. Genevieve, you got yours? For the most challenging. Lori, you got yours? Good. We're all good? Okay. So here's the exercise. We're going to be in groups of 2. So one group is going to stay in the main room with me. Another group's going to go into a breakout room. Okay. And one person is going to share their most peaceful moment. And you're going to wait about 15 seconds after you're done saying it. Okay, so you're going to say, my most peaceful moment was when I was walking the dog on the beach and the sun was just right. And it just felt amazing. You're going to wait. Now, the listener, I want the listener to let their body do what their body wants to do after hearing that. I want you to feel what your body feels like. Okay, so the talker's got to remember, you say what your most peaceful moment was, then you're going to give like a 10 to 15-second break. And the listener is just going to feel and let their body do what their body wants to do. Then the person sharing is going to, the person that spoke is going to say what their most challenging moment was. And then the listener is going to let their body do what their body wants to do. Okay? Then we switch. All right? So in the first group, I'm going to have Karen and Genevieve go into a, is going to go into a breakout room. Bum, bum, bum. Karen and Genevieve, and Kim and Lori is going to stay with me. Okay. And so you're going to share what your most peaceful moment was. You're going to wait 10 to 15 seconds so the listener can just kind of like feel their body, see how their body's responding to it. And then you're going to say the most challenging part. Then the listener is going to also feel their body, what it wants to do. Really take note on what your body wants to do. Don't try and change anything. I want you to feel it. Then we switch roles. So this is going to be just 2 minutes. Okay. We're going to go in for 2 minutes. Recreate, add room. So you could go into the room, and now Lori and Kim, you're going to stay with me. Cool. All right. So Kim, I want you to read to Lori, and Lori, I just want you to listen and allow your body, really tune into your body. Just take 3 deep breaths, get really centered. Okay. And I want you just to let your body move in how these 2 statements land with you. Okay.
My most peaceful moment in the last 2 weeks was walking outside in the woods, in the sun, in the leaves.
And Laura, you could close your eyes too if you want to feel the words more. And now, Kim, if you could say the next statement, the most challenging statement.
The most challenging moments were nightly when sitting with Chris and he gets up and announces he's going to bed and then goes to his new room.
And then Lori, just sit with that and see what signals your body's giving you, what your body wants to do. And now, Lori, read your 2 simple statements. You're on, Lori, I can't hear you, but I don't know why, though. It's weird because you're not on mute. Huh. Kim, can you hear Lori?
No,
You might want to check your mic, Lori. That's weird. No? On the Zoom, like on the audio setting? All right, Kim, I'm going to give you 2 just to see. So
okay.
why don't you breathe deeply and slowly and kind of like straighten out your spine just so that you could feel your, like how your body responds to it. And you could close your eyes too. The most peaceful moment when I was in a meditation 2 days ago and I just kind of got lost in there and it was for an hour and I was in pure emptiness, empty space, and it just felt so peaceful. There was nothing, no distractions, no noise, just this endless inner space. It was like almost like ecstasy. And my most stressful moment was when 3 unexpected big bills came through at the same time. And I really kind of like lost my shit a little bit on um, how to handle it. And that was really stressful. All right. So Kim, just see if your body responded to any of that any differently, if you felt anything. I'm going to close the rooms and bring Genevieve and Karen back. And you just want to take note. Lori, how did you make out on your microphone issue? We still can't hear you though. Why don't you click on the Zoom audio mic on the bottom left and just see if another option pops up for you? Okay. So we're going to go through, Lori's having a little bit of an issue with her audio, with her mic. We can't hear her. You want to check it now, Lori? No, nothing. Do you want to do a sound check? Do you want to say something? Okay, so me and Kim did the exercise. So I want to pop in and see with Karen and Genevieve. Karen, did you notice any difference in how your body felt when between the 2 statements? What was the difference? What did you feel?
When Genevieve was sharing her the peaceful moment, my heart, I could just feel my chest opening up, and
Mhm.
just I could feel the relief and the ease and the gratitude that she had. I just felt it, with what she
Mhm.
shared. And then it was really interesting when she went to her challenge. I didn't even know what it was. I just knew I wanted to cry because
Mm.
it felt so emotional. And then she shared what she shared. And it was like my body knew it before she even said it. I could just sense it and how it felt. And
Mhm.
so that was my experience.
So it's because you were tuning into her.
Yes.
You were tuning into her and you were connected to her and you could feel the wave, the frequency of what she was about to say. She
Yes.
tuned into what she was going to say and you felt it. And then she
Yes.
said it. Okay.
Yep.
So Genevieve, what did you experience? Were you able to, when you were listening to both of Karen's statements, did you feel anything inside?
Definitely, definitely a huge difference. When she talked about her peaceful moment, it was also kind of expansion feeling. And
Mhm.
actually, I think I kind of experienced what she talked about. I felt it in my body, like
Mm-hmm.
felt the warmth, I felt what she was experiencing, really,
Mm-hmm.
and just a feeling of being expanded, and like
Mm-hmm.
my hands are opening. And when she shared her challenging moment, I just felt just the opposite. I just felt I was constricted, and I felt sorry, and I felt, I think, sadness and a bit of frustration.
Mm-hmm. So I want you to see there's like, you ever see like dominoes when they set up dominoes and they fall and they go down? So like when somebody's energy is expansive, we open up. If somebody's energy closes down, we close down, right? But I want you to imagine this. If somebody closes down and we open up, then they open back up. Okay, so we want to use it to our advantage. So now I want to check in with Kim and see.
Oh,
Um, so Lori, because your mic wasn't working, I actually gave Kim the two statements. Kim, did you feel any difference or anything in your body?
oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. But it was funny. I didn't have like an opening. I felt
Mhm.
really warm. I
Mm.
felt warm. At first I thought I was a little jealous, but I wasn't. I think I was sharing how you felt,
Mhm.
because yours was a little longer than mine and you used great adjectives. So I was
Mhm.
able to truly
Mhm.
feel it.
Mhm.
Um, when you told me your challenge,
Mhm.
I felt that, like, I guess in my solar plexus, because I've been
Mhm.
there, done that, sucks.
Mhm.
But I was able to then flip it almost and say, yeah, but he'll get out of it just like you did.
Mhm.
So there was a God, this sucks, but I felt it like not just for you, but for me, because it was something that I can definitely relate to.
Mhm.
And then it didn't stay
Mhm.
icky.
Right.
It got a
So,
little calmer because I said to myself, and I don't know whether I was talking to you or me in my head,
mhm.
but that always works out.
Yeah, you were talking to you, and I want you to, this exercise was really about seeing that our bodies are always responding to our environment automatically, outside of our control, right? Because they say we're only using like what, 5 or 10% of our brain.
Hmm.
90% of our mental processing occurs below the conscious level. That means we're not awake. The Buddha said when they asked, "Are you God? Are you this? Are you that?" He said, "I'm awake," right? So the Buddha was awake, so he was aware, right? So our body is always responding to what the universe is showing us in the moment, what's in front of us, right? And it happens automatically. As we learn body language, we are becoming an automatic response to now an intentional response, a conscious response, right? Because we're changing our body language to, instead of this person closing and then we close, this person closes, we open, and then they open. Okay. That's the chain reaction we want to have happen. Lori, how's your mic doing?
I think it's okay. Can you hear me?
Cool. Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
I,
What was
I,
your experience when Kim was sharing um, her most peaceful moment versus her most challenging moment?
well, the most peaceful moment took me back to when I lived on the East Coast for the first half of my life, and it was
What
beautiful.
did you feel though? How did you feel?
I
How would you
felt
describe
I felt happy and peaceful, and
it?
like
Awesome.
noticing the colors and just happy and warm. And then
Hmm.
when she said her biggest struggle, my heart sank.
Hmm.
My mouth fell open and my heart sank. That's so hurtful. I'm so sorry.
I knew the two of you would make a good team. And Karen and
Well,
Genevieve for this exercise. No, that's because Lori, the thing is we want to be able to mirror each other and really feel it while we're getting into this, right? So perfect. Um, so when just imagine we just did that for 1 minute, right? 20 seconds, say what was your most peaceful moment. 20 seconds, say your most challenging moment. And our bodies automatically respond to it, right? Just think about if we're listening to a client that's unloading for 45 minutes about, the same pattern that's taking them down worse and worse and worse, and you're not getting anywhere. It's just a story circling, right? We go down a tension rabbit hole with them, And that's what causes burnout. Okay. So what we're going to talk about is the body language component to change. It's almost like imagine if we can control the weather, right? You know, imagine like a hurricane's coming, but we can control the weather with like some kind of like, antenna system. It's right. We're positioning things to control the weather. We're positioning our body to have a positive impact on the emotional weather between us and the person we're supporting. Okay. So we're just going to review the body language components. The most important thing is this: the left side lean in, the left side lean in, left shoulder. And it's not like that. I mean, it's like an inch forward, right? It's like an inch forward compared to your other shoulder. That's all. And your left palm being up, right? Your left palm being up. And you're not holding it up like you're the Statue of Liberty or, starting the Olympics. What you're doing is it could be on your desk, it could be on your lap. If you're at a desk and you're more comfortable with it under your lap, it's okay. It doesn't have to, they don't have to see that your palm is up. As long as it is up, you are in a receptive mindset, right? You're in a receptive energetic frequency, right? In position. So you have your left side lean in, and it's with the shoulder, starts with the shoulder, just like 1 inch, then the knee and the foot. And it's all about an inch. You don't have to exaggerate it any more than that. I would say 1 to 2 inches tops, right? Just that slight lean, and then the palm up, the left palm up. The real key is the left eye into their right eye. And I know a lot of people are like, what is that? How do you do that? Just use your left eye. It's not as if you don't have to close the right eye, but you're just using your left eye to look into their right eye. Once you're face to face with someone, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And I really suggest you play with this with the people in your life, with your spouses, with your personal biggest stress trigger, right? Left side lean in, breathing deeply and slowly, looking into their left eye, not saying a word, and just listening innocently with childlike curiosity and compassion. That's the key. When they don't sense any of the daggers coming up in you, any of the defenses, they start to settle their defenses, and you could actually have a real moment. The way you put your defenses down is by breathing into your stress, by touching the tension and breathing into your stress. Touching your tension and breathing into your stress. That's how you disengage your defenses. Our spouses or kids, those are our biggest triggers. That's why I want you to practice on them, because it'll have the biggest transformation in your life, and then you could apply it to your practice. You could apply it to people in the street, people that you meet, people that come to you for help.
So Brett, when we're working with family members or friends, and we're breathing in and we're disengaging with our defensiveness, how do we, now, just stay with me when I'm asking this question. For those of us that usually surrender our power to others, let's just put it that way. How do we stay strong in ourselves without, because there's a fine line, at least for me, between surrendering my power and standing in my strength when I'm listening to someone to, and I'm going to use this word not to protect myself per se, because I'm watching my language, but to stay in my truth so that I'm true to myself. I don't know if that question lands or how I said it makes
Yeah.
sense, but I'm
So let me
just,
guess, is the person you're talking about projecting onto you?
yes,
Like
yes.
saying you're to blame, or you know what I mean? Like it's
Yep,
coming at
yep.
you.
You know what?
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay. So the breath is what grounds you. I would touch wherever you feel the tension, but if, it could be your heart, but if you want to ground it, you could put your hand on your belly button or on your solar plexus.
Mhm.
So you're breathing in closer to your power center,
Okay.
right? And you're grounding yourself in yourself. You're grounding your consciousness in the body. Okay.
Feet on the ground, hands on the belly, grounding. Okay.
Breathing deeply and slowly, still left side forward, right?
Okay.
And then you got to matrix it. You got to be Neo on the roof when the bullets are coming at you and you're just
I
everything's
haven't,
slow
yeah.
motion.
I haven't even watched that movie yet.
Slow
Me
motion.
either. Me
Come
either.
on. You at least got to watch the roof scene with the bullets.
Okay.
So, um, so the breath slows down the bullets because as you're breathing deeply and slowly, you're getting into the moment and the speed of everything around you slows down and you could actually see that they're hurt. So when you're stressed, you see that they're a threat, they're upset, and you got to defend yourself. But when you are breathing into the stress and releasing it, you could actually see that they're in pain and you could start to have some compassion.
So what if you're not
And
there yet?
hmm,
Because what if you're not there yet? You almost have to take care of the self first, if that makes sense.
but think of the first step. You're breathing into your pain, you're breathing into your own stress.
Okay.
The stress, the location is where your trauma lives. And that might be your parents' trauma that's lodged in your body. So you're going right to the horse's mouth within your body where all the trauma lives. You're going to the epicenter of your trauma.
Okay, so if I want a different response out of someone else while I'm trying to get myself grounded and controlled, I'm trying to control their outburst. Okay, I'm just trying to
No,
watch
hold on,
this.
wait. Take the word control and throw it out the window. Okay. Here's what
Okay.
we're doing. They're showing you a part of themselves that's fearful to part of you. Let's say it's in your heart. So your heart starts going like this and you feel the tension and you're about to react and you want to engage with the ping pong game, right? You're getting sucked into
Yep.
an argument because you're about to get suckered into defending yourself. Okay.
Right.
All right. So there's some red meat, they're hanging it out, and you're going, "Arr," right? You're about to bite on the bait. Okay. We all do this. Sometimes
Yep.
I hold out the red meat. Sometimes you hold out the red meat. We all do that at different times, right? It starts somewhere, right? No one in any relationship is always innocent, right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen that way, right? But we're working on when the other person's holding out the red meat and they're tempting us to bite on it. Tend to your own fear because their act is triggering fear in you. So you're tending to your own issue, your primordial feel inside your body, what your body's really worried about in that moment. You're touching it and you're breathing into it. So now you're delivering life force energy into the cells that are afraid for survival. So
I'm
as you do
ready.
that, your heart rate slows and your perception starts to clear. And you start to see they're not a threat, they're just upset. Remember that. They're not a threat, they're just
They're not a
upset.
threat, they're just upset. And I don't have to fix it or change it.
All you're doing is focusing on yourself. You're
Okay.
giving yourself the relief that you deserve and the inner peace that you deserve. You're delivering that to yourself and you're just being present with them. So now there's four eyeballs on their pain. There's their eyeballs and there's your eyeballs, right? All pain needs to heal, all pain needs to be seen, heard, and loved, right? Be seen, heard, and loved. So wherever that pain is, if it's seen, heard, and loved, that pain is going to unlock and release and begin to heal from the inside out. And what that looks like with a spouse is, let's say they're overreacting, projecting on you. You're tending to your inner pain. You're breathing deeply and slowly into it. You're doing the matrix dodge, right? Their knives are going over your shoulder. Then it's a deep, slow breath this way. And then everything starts to slow down, right? Because your heart rate is slowing down, your awareness opens, and you could see that they're in pain. They're not a threat, they're just upset. And then it's like, oh my God, inside you're saying this, oh my God, I see how upset you are. If you say that out loud, they might say, well, I'm not upset, blah, 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 right? If you ever heard that before, I wish I had a nickel. So, but you know what I'm saying? Just, right? So just in your eyes, through your eyes, you're saying, oh my God, I see how upset you are. And you lean in with the right body language. Left shoulder, left eye to right eye, left palm forward, left knee and left foot forward, right? And you're breathing deeply and slowly.
And if they come back and try to attack you, just keep staying with it. Breathe it.
When you say attack, what do you mean?
So if you acknowledge, not you, if one of us acknowledges, oh my gosh, I can see, how that, hurt you or made you feel whatever, however,
That's an
and
internal dialogue.
okay,
You're saying
that's
that with your
internal.
eyes to them. You're not saying
Okay,
that out
okay.
loud.
Okay, all right, okay. Gotcha. All right.
Remember, we're
Okay.
going down to like 0 words. We're going down to all body language in this moment, right? We're listening. We're opening it up to pure compassion, pure listening, pure body language.
So we're saying in our body, oh my gosh, I can see how upset you are. We're saying that internally, not to the person, with
Mhm,
our left eye looking in their right eye.
mhm. Just
Okay.
left lean forward, left side lean forward, left palm up.
Okay. And then they're coming back and saying, I'm making this up. You always do this. What's wrong with you? That was so rude. That was so mean. Why would you do something like that? I'm just making stuff up.
Mhm,
And all of that stuff is coming at one person.
mhm.
How do you stay centered and not want to kind of like give a reason or defend or anything like that?
The 5 prompts, and you
Okay.
just lean in.
Okay.
Oh my God, please tell me more. Now you're saying, throw bigger knives at me, because now you're breathing deeply and slowly. Now the knives aren't landing on you. And we're
Oh
only
my
talking about
I get that like gets me even more anxious. Like I can't breathe. The
that's
heaviness from that. Yeah.
that's not your stress. That's stress locked in your body. That's stress locked in, that's ancestral trauma locked in your body and in some soul trauma that around being persecuted and being attacked.
Okay.
Right. So I want you to breathe into that. This whole process starts with you breathing into the fear. Everything starts with you breathing into the fear to break through the fear. Right. So as you say, as you're listening, and when they get done, lack of a better word, blabbing,
Yeah.
you lean in. Oh my gosh, please tell me more. You're seeing that they're hurt. They're showing you someone angry, but you're seeing that they're hurt. Please tell me more. Now they open up a whole nother poem. And you're just letting the tension come up and out. You're tracking it. It might have went from your heart down to your solar plexus now. You're leaning in again. I want to hear everything. Right?
Right.
Hold
Okay,
on.
I don't
Now,
know if anyone else can relate to this, but this is where I want to run and this is where I want to avoid. So right where you've got me, doesn't matter the situation, it's the energy.
mhm.
And I think this is where for me, and I'm just kind of checking in with anyone else if they're like relating to this, this is where I flee or I freeze or I fight, like right here.
This is the moment. Does anyone else, Genevieve, you have anything to share, or Kim or Lori?
What I feel sometimes is that if I have to take care of myself and I'm really getting very upset and very, and I cannot really relate to other person, I'm trying to say, okay, I understand. I'm trying like to put a how can I say that? Okay, I get that you're very upset. I am very upset. Maybe I want to be with myself a few minutes, brief about it, and then maybe we can come back to the conversation. I mean, because sometimes when it gets to that point where it's too, the horses are already
Mhm.
running, so the only thing I can do is just like go back to myself and protect myself, like say, okay, I need a few minutes. Can we talk about it in a little while? I really want to talk about it. I really want to hear what you have to say, but I need to take care of myself now. Can we talk about it in a little while? I think that's what I'm doing when I'm getting, it's too much. I cannot calm myself and hear the other one.
Now, I want you to step back though and just imagine that our bodies, now we just did that body language exercise, right? We know that our bodies are responding to stimuli around us automatically,
Yeah.
right? So I want you to imagine a version of yourself that is able to ground in the breath and the touch so deep that as the universe shows you stimulus to bring up your fear, you could just release it and you effortlessly break through it by leaning in with childlike curiosity and compassion, right? Now, think about this, Karen. We're talking about close family relationships, right? Like a spouse relationship and leaning into that fear, right? Leaning into that trigger, that fear. We're not talking about being in a jail cell with a serial killer doing this technique, right?
Right.
So,
We're talking about a close friend
mhm.
and I can and I that when I imagine doing this,
Mhm.
like my whole body is sweating. Like, I'm actually, so this is really significant part of, so it's different. I don't know if anyone can say when it's with a client or with, someone, that's not so deeply connected, it's so much easier. This is where the rubber hits the road.
This is the reason why I'm doing it in this way, because it's almost like the Frank Sinatra song, "If I can make it there, I can make it anywhere." New York, New York. If we could do it within our family, we could do it with anybody. That's just the bottom line. So, because we only
Ooh.
have 3 Sundays together, we're
Yeah.
diving into the hot seat. We are in the frying pan.
Woo!
Okay. Yeah. You can turn down the heat in your house.
Oh,
And I've been there. That's the only reason why I'm kind of like chuckling with it. So let's just embrace it, Karen. Where is it? Where's the epicenter of the heat in your body?
well, I don't know if I'm having a hot flash or if it's like, but it's all throughout like my upper body, all, through, just uh,
Okay. So let's just say a few corrections and just say thank you, universe,
Thank you, universe,
thank you, universe,
for helping me break free
for
for
helping me
helping
break
me break
free,
free
and melt down
and
melt
melt
down
down
all the eons of ancestral trauma
all
all of the eons of trauma
the ancestral
inside my body,
inside my
inside
body,
me,
inside my soul.
inside my soul.
inside my soul.
Help me lean into the fear,
Help me lean into the fear,
breathe into my body,
Breathe
breathe
into my
into my
body
body,
and open up
and
and
open up
open up
to you
to you
in every aspect of me.
in every aspect of me.
And then just say, I could do this. I could lean in.
I could lean in.
I could lean in with the curiosity of a little kid.
I can do that.
I think I can. I might be able to.
I could lean in with the curiosity of a little kid.
I can lean in with the curiosity of a little kid.
Let's say I was a little kid once.
I still am.
I was a little kid once.
I was a little kid once. Whew.
I was a little kid once.
I was a little kid once.
And I know what that innocence is like.
And I know what that innocence is like. Well, sort of.
The curiosity
The curiosity.
and the compassion.
Oh, and the compassion.
When I was a kid, I had compassion for wounded birds, wounded insects, wounded anything. It could be an ant flipping around. And I would have compassion for it. Just breathe into it. So, Karen, the ancestral and the soul trauma wants you to head for the hills,
Yeah.
right? And I just want you to use it as this like clay in the moment that allows you to knead through that true
So
you.
the trauma, the heat is like right up here.
Hmm.
The rest of my body it's almost like rising up, and I just am trying to get it out of, out my head. But
Hmm.
it's almost like the feeling when you said, I can do this. I almost went into like a dissociated space of like my head was spinning. So like, I just came down, I didn't say the words. I just put
Hmm.
my hands on my chair, put my feet on the ground, and just kind of breathing through it. So I can feel whatever this work is doing, it's trying to release something very, very big.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you do this. I don't know how you tap into, I mean, I know how you do it, but I don't know how you do it. It's
I'm
like,
just listening. I'm
yeah,
listening to
yeah,
my guidance. I'm
because
tapping into
yeah,
our higher consciousness. I'm listening.
it's like an energetic, I don't even know how to explain it, but the heat that
Hmm.
was in my body, now I'm cool here, but it's like there's like a thin layer on like a almost like a halo in my head that wants to kind of shoot out.
So let's just say, thank you, universe.
Thank you, universe.
Thank you, God.
Thank you, God.
Continue
Continue
cooling it all down.
cooling it all down.
I can do it.
I can do it.
I can break free
I can break free
from all those old reactions inside me,
from all those old reactions inside of me,
from all those old reactions inside my body.
all those old reactions inside my body.
I want to lean in
I want to lean in
to the moment.
to the moment.
I want to embrace the moment.
I want to embrace the moment,
Call you into
call you into
my body, my brain, my heart.
my body, my brain, my heart.
Melt it all down
Melt it all down
with the light and love
with the light and love,
of my own divine essence.
my own divine essence.
I hand it over to my sweetness.
I hand it over to my sweetness.
Just breathe. And just say, I want it to be easier.
I want it to be fucking easier.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's my girl.
So let's just say, I'm here to help people.
I'm here to help people.
I don't need to get freaked out while I'm doing that.
I don't need to get freaked out by that. And I'm here to connect with people. And I don't need to freak out with people that are closest to me and be
Mhm.
afraid of them.
I want to lean into them.
I want to lean in.
All right.
I would like to be able to lean into them
Mhm.
with childlike curiosity
And
and
compassion.
not so afraid and with compassion.
So I want you to understand something. Those situations are going to continue to show up into your life until you break the pattern of it shows up and then you run. It shows up and you run. It shows up and then you run, right? I'm just saying the fear wants, I'm not
Yeah,
saying you run,
no,
I'm saying the fear wants you to run.
it's because, and I'm seeing that pattern. It's the fear when it doesn't matter what it is, if it's a person, an environment,
Mhm.
like I've just watched it. It's almost like it's happening like in real time.
I know.
And I'm like, oh crap, this is the pattern. And I'll act it out. And then the next day I'm like, wait, what was that about? And instead of blaming, or I'm like, okay, I'm sitting in this, I'm facing this because it's not about X, Y, and Z. It's about my pattern when things become too overwhelming. Instead of feeling that energy that you just helped me feel to release it, I'm running from it. But and this has been a pattern that was ingrained for generations.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's totally ingrained in your body. It's like hardwired in. But as you show your body that you no longer need that wiring, it releases because it no longer serves a purpose.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay. That's very important to
Yeah,
understand that. It no longer serves a purpose. It's almost like your computer. If you're no longer using Microsoft Word, imagine it just disappears, right? Because you're no longer using it. You've already evolved past it into using something
gotcha.
else. Okay. Like let's say you're using like an audio thing where you're like speaking, you know what I mean? Like you don't need the Word documents anymore. So I want you to imagine that. Okay. And the thing that you're letting go of is this when you get fearful, it's almost like a cartoon. I don't know if you remember see the cartoon of when the one person gets scared, they jump up and their feet start moving already, and then they land, they take off.
That's me. That's me.
So that's what happened. So that's we all got that. But that's what happens. So now,
But it's happening with my most intimate and closest relationships.
of
And
course,
this is not even how do I say it? This is
something
not
you could
e-
escape.
yeah, and it's almost like how do I say this? I'm not embarrassed around any of this, but there's a part of me that is like it's preventing me from getting closer to the people that I'm closest to. If that, this is
Yes.
another layer of closeness, of intimacy.
Now, I want you to imagine this. We're using like the biggest kind of things in our personal life because as we transform that, we can easily do this with people that, that are our clients. And then beyond that, Karen, you've seen some of the things I've done in retreats, right? In front of big groups of people, because I could do it in close quarters and with clients, and then it opens up the floodgates to be able to do it anywhere because you trust yourself. So when you start to let go of the fear, a real new you starts to emerge. Our true essence, our true nature can emerge. Remember, the body always has these pre-planned reactions to the stimulus it experiences, right? That's what our first exercise was about, feeling the body's response. But once we say, hey, we're going to breathe through that and release it and see what the next moment brings, I'm going to lean into the moment. I'm going to say, moment, please tell me more. Moment, what's the hardest part to talk about? You're going to lean into the moment more and more. And you're just going to let go of all your fear. So your clients are actually breaking you free from all the fear inside your body, one session at a time.
So going back to the exercise, that exercise showed us that, because I think where this is all going, and I'm starting to see a bigger picture, is that we're not going to, I want to say this in the most respect, we're going to be connected to the person, but we're not going to be connected to the story. If I'm
Right.
saying that correct, so that we can really be present and we can feel with them and have empathy, but we're not getting caught up in the vibration. Does it?
That's key. That is
Yeah.
key. Everything is energy, right? All energy vibrates. Vibrations ping off a frequency. When they're expressing themselves, they're letting out a pretty like tight lower frequency, right? But we want to feel it just enough to like, we feel our stress, right? Remember I always talked about putting your hand against the stove and feeling the flame, but not letting it burn. So when your client is emoting, you're sensing it just enough to feel what it is, and then you're breathing into it in your body and releasing it. You're doing that so the two of you can go deeper together. Because remember, emotions are layered. You have anger, sadness, fear, trauma.
Yeah.
Okay. And in the traumatic experience, the original one that started everything, usually in our formative years, there's illusions in there. Each trauma has given birth to an illusion, which then recreates the sequence of everything we experience related to that trauma, whether it's with our dad and then our male spouse or male supervisors and things of that. It just reverberates, it echoes. So what we're doing is opening up such safe space so people to express their anger, then express the sadness that the anger was protecting, then express the fear that was underneath the sadness. And then if we're really present with all of it, that gem of the original trauma will just surface. And
Which
then you
just
just help them unpack all the pain.
okay.
And then you start those 5 prompts again. Please tell me more. What's the hardest part to talk about? What's your biggest fear about that? Right? We're just unpacking. They're just expressing, right? They're just expressing the pain. So does anyone have any quick questions about the last 20 minutes? Because we're going to transition to another exercise and then I'm going to take a break.
With my husband in terms of instead of getting upset and angry that I could lean in. I don't know.
Say that again, Lori.
Like I wrote you about what's happened about the night before last. He
Mm-hmm.
at 4 a.m. or 4:30, I went to use the restroom and he was sitting on the edge of the tub cleaning his wounds because he had fallen, and it took him an hour to get up because he kept falling again, but he didn't call me. He didn't reach out for me because he was probably afraid I was going to call 911 or yell at him or something. And then I felt so horrible. But on the other hand, I just wanted to bandage him up without conversation and go back to bed because it was 5 in the morning and I had to get up at 7. It was just yesterday. So, and then later on, I went in and said, I'm so sorry. That must have been so scary for you. Like, what was going on in your head? And he didn't really talk much about it, but then he fell again. Like I heard him go down in the bathroom and he was so scared this time because he hit his head a little bit. But I'm like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to how to be more compassionate when it's something like not using the walker,
When it's something like what?
not using the walker.
Not using the walker. So, Lori, this is like one of life's most challenging moments, right? And the key is being gentle with yourself, right? You're not gonna, when we don't have the right amount of sleep, if we get woken up in the middle of the night, it's so hard to just wake up startled and then be compassionate. Okay. That is really difficult. And I just want to share a quick little story. When Sky was a baby, he was like 2 years old, right? He was and he was sleeping next to me, and he would in his sleep he would climb on the headboard, and he would fall and his head would hit my head. It was like dropping a bowling ball on my head in mid sleep. Anyway, one time this happened like 4 times, right? I wasn't getting any sleep, and he was also wake. He was having nightmares, so he was like screaming in the middle of the night. Anywhere, but the third or fourth time he fell and hit my head, I grabbed him and I shook him for like 10 seconds, like in an automatic reaction. How shitty do you think I felt right after that? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I just want to let you know, like, in the middle of the night, when we're woken up by like these things that are super scary and super jarring and just like hurtful and painful, what I would suggest doing is prepping yourself, seeing that it might happen, right? Probably will happen. Telling Bernie he can call you, just looking at him in the eyes, maybe before you go to sleep at night, and saying, look, you can call me. I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to wake up in the best mood, but I want to be there for you. Does that sound true for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So you get that out of the way. You say that, so that's out there. Try and get to sleep earlier. For you personally, like if he goes to sleep later, regardless what time he goes to bed, try to go to sleep a little bit earlier
I
so
go to sleep
that,
after.
yeah, so that if it's happening at 5 in the morning and you wake up at 7, it's not as, jarring, right? And then if you react, if you're upset, it's normal, but I want you to focus on your breath, just like we're talking here, leaning in, right? And not even saying anything, just touching him. Maybe when you go to the rescue, right? You see him on the floor or he's bandaging yourself. Maybe you just get on the same level as him and you're holding his hands or you're just hugging him just for 30 seconds or a minute, right? Just connecting with him, right? So if you see him on the floor, it's not like I got to get this guy up and it's just just hold his hands, hug him if you can, if there's position, if there's space to do that. Tell him you love him, breathe, and then go to the next step, which would be bandaging his wounds and taking it really slow. Taking it really slow, Lori, slowing down time. Slowing down time, seeing it happen in slow motion. Okay. Because what happens is when you see him like that, you might go into overdrive and like the need kicks in. You got to fix them all up. But guess what? There's no fixing in this situation, Lord. You can't fix it. You can't fix him. The situation's too big. And I mentioned hurricane before. The weather can show us when a hurricane's coming to shore, but can we stop the hurricane? No. We can see when tsunamis are coming, but can we stop them? No. That's why when he presents his hurricane in the middle of the night or anytime, I would just want you to be present with him. All right. Just same thing with I'm talking about the first step, breathing, taking care of yourself, putting on your oxygen mask, and then connecting with him. All right. That's all I
Instead of
want you to do.
saying, stop talking to me, I have to go back to sleep. Just let me manage your wounds.
Just throw away all the conversation, let your breath, right? Calm
Just don't
yourself.
if he's talking, like telling me all the reasons why it was his shoe, it was this, it was that.
You can't fix it, Lori. This is not a fixable scenario. The only thing you could do is let your love come through, right? And share your pain with us, right? And just let it out. Let it out. Him going through this is actually letting go of old wounds for you. Like when we have these soul contracts we have with our long-term spouses, you know, when one's leaving, right? It brings up our the
Fear.
core of our heartache, and our fear, right? And if we breathe into it as these layers come up and out and we release it, as they're going on to their next phase, which we will one day be, we're actually going to find some more freedom while we're still here, because we're going to return to the breath. We're going to turn to our pure consciousness, our energy, right? So they become okay where they are and we're okay where we are. Okay. We're just taking the need out of the scenario. So when he's on the floor, you don't need him to be up. Connect with him where he is, breathe, and then go into slow motion. Just start addressing everything in slow motion. You know what I'm saying? Like the cleaning, the rebandaging, right? And just connect with him every step of the way. You know, like sometimes it feels like we're on a battlefield and we got to get it done in 30 seconds or less, but we don't. I want you to get the stop clock and throw it out of the room and take your time with this. Okay. Slow it down. And that ultimately is going to be the thing that transitions with both of you, is the connection. Feeling connected when he's here, feeling connected when he's gone, feeling connected, the emotional and spiritual connection, and then ultimately reconnecting with him when you're there with him. Right?
Okay.
So, did you have anything you wanted to share, Laura? I know you're going through a lot.
I think I've said this before. I kind of feel like I'm watching it like from the outside looking in. And I can get so emotional talking to you. Or even yesterday morning, I told you I was on a mentorship call with Daniel Mate, and I've never spoken to me. There was 85 people I don't know, and I just blabbed it out. And what he said was, "So you're feeling the guilt?" And then he said, "Well, you know, you could leave." I said, "I'm not going anywhere." He said, "I know that. I know that." And
So he
just
was saying you're feeling the gift, like you're feeling the pain, and the
I'm
pain is the
feeling
gift?
like guilt for not having been more compassionate.
Guilt. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, guilt.
And I said, I'm not going anywhere. He said, "I know that." He said, "But try treating him like he's a 5-year-old.
Mhm.
Like, what would you do if your 5-year-old child fell? Would you yell?"
Oh my gosh, right? You bring him in. Oh, you know,
And
right?
just the night before, I had said to him, "What are you, 5?" Which was like so not compassionate. And it was just because of something to do with, he asked for a fork or something. So I just feel like I want to be compassionate, but the words that come out of my mouth don't always sound compassionate.
Let's just say, God, help me forgive myself.
God,
God, help me forgive myself.
I would love to forgive myself.
I would love to forgive myself.
What does that energy feel like?
What does that energy feel like?
What's the frequency of self-forgiveness?
What's the frequency of self-forgiveness?
What's the frequency and the feeling
What's the frequency and the feeling?
of eternal peace
Eternal peace
from self-forgiveness?
for self.
Oh my God, I don't have to be perfect.
Oh my God, I don't have to be perfect.
Oh my God, I'm a clumsy human. I mess up all the time.
Oh my God, I'm a clumsy human and I mess up all the time.
It's almost comical,
It's comical. It is comical.
right? Help me find the frequency
Help me find the
frequency
of self-love
of self-love
and forgiveness
and forgiveness
within me.
within me.
I want to breathe and receive
I want to breathe and receive
the self-love and forgiveness
self-love and forgiveness
from the inside out.
from the inside out.
Awaken it
Awakened
right now.
right now.
And just imagine breathing it in. Like as you breathe in, that frequency starts to expand and awaken. Self-forgiveness.
The last thing Daniel said to me was, "How about having some compassion for yourself?"
Mhm. As I have compassion for me,
As I have compassion for me,
I can have compassion for Bernie.
I can have compassion for Bernie.
As I have peace within me,
I have peace within me.
I can have peace between me and Bernie.
I can have peace between me and Bernie.
And just breathe it in. Is anyone experiencing background noise?
It's my cat scratching on a.
Okay. All right. When she scratches, we might have to go on mute, just so you know.
Okay.
Um,
The one that was just sitting on my lap, she never sits on my lap. That was a first. Not that she
Oh, that
wasn't
was
fun.
Oh, it's that cat. She loves you now.
so we're gonna go.
That's great. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So we're gonna play a little learning game just to get the 5 prompts into our brain. And this is closer to the way the Greeks handled school and learning. So I learned this a few years ago that what is it? The etymology or the source of the word school goes back to the Greeks and it means leisure. And the way they used to teach is like the students would lay down in a comfortable position, close their eyes, and the teacher would walk around the room slowly and speak slowly to get the lesson out and into their subconscious. And that's where they felt that was the right space for people to learn, was when they were calm and relaxed and the words were coming out nice and slow. So we're going to go to our 5 prompts. I'm going to put it up on, I'm going to screen share it. Just give me a second here. And we're all going to read it once. And then the others are going to listen. All right. So here's our 5 prompts. And as I want everyone except the first person, I'll read it first. And then everyone that's just listening, you're going to close your eyes and you're just going to listen. And I'm going to give a little space after I say each one. And in that space, I want you to repeat that one right after me. Okay. So we're going to start now. You can just close your eyes and just focus your mind on breathing deeply and slowly. Listen to my words and then repeat them calmly in the back of your mind. So the 5 prompts are, please tell me more. I want to hear everything. What's the hardest part to talk about? What's your biggest fear about that? What does that feel like? Now I'm going to say it again, only I don't want you to consciously repeat it. You might automatically hear it repeated in the back of your mind in a quieter inner voice. Okay. So I just want you to relax now. Please tell me more. I want to hear everything. What's the hardest part to talk about? What's your biggest fear about that? What does that feel like? All right. Now, Karen, if you could slowly say the 5 prompts and we're all going to listen and then repeat it in the back of our mind.
Please tell me more. I want to hear everything. What's the hardest part to talk about? What's your biggest fear about that? What does that feel like?
And then one more time. And now we're just going to listen. We don't have to repeat it in the back of our mind. We're just going to listen. And you might hear your own inner voice even deeper, kind of reading along. But I just want you to really relax your mind the best you can.
Please tell me more. I want to hear everything. What's the hardest part to talk about? What's your biggest fear about that? What does that feel like?
Good. And then Kim.
Please tell me more. I want to hear everything. What's the hardest part about that? What's your biggest fear about that? What does that feel like?
Good. And one more time.
Please tell me more. I want to hear everything. What's the hardest part to talk about? What's your biggest fear about that? What does that feel like?
Great. And Genevieve, are you able to do it now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Please tell me more. I want to hear everything. What's the hardest part to talk about? What's your biggest fear about that? What does that feel like?
And one more time.
Please tell me more. I want to hear everything. What's the hardest part to talk about? What's your biggest fear about that? What does that feel like?
Awesome. And Lori.
Please tell me more. I want to hear everything. What's the hardest part to talk about? What's your biggest fear about that? What does that feel like?
Awesome. Now, Lori, I want you to practice breathing deeply and slowly between each one. So we're going to slow it down, and you're going to do it one more time, really nice and slow, breathing deeply and slowly as you're leaning in. And I want you to imagine like you're sitting up straight, and after each one, you're leaning in a little bit more. Okay.
Please tell me more. I want to hear everything. What is the hardest part to talk about? What's your biggest fear about that? What does that feel like?
Awesome. Now, these words used with your own inner stress stopper breath work, breathing deeply and slowly. This is the technique and the position of your body, just with the left side lean in, looking into their right eye with your left eye, left palm up. That's the body language, right? And no matter what you hear, if you stay really consistent with these 5 prompts, it opens up so much space for the other person to talk, right? So like when they're in the middle of their answer for the second or third question, you might want to jump in. You might want to address it, but I encourage you to just keep it zipped until they stop talking. And you could respond with your eyebrows, a nod, a squint, respond with your facial expressions. And the things we don't want to do is turn too far in one direction. We don't want to cross our arms. We don't want to cross our legs. We don't want to touch our face. We don't want to have our eyes wide open and eyebrows all the way up like we're shocked, right? We just want to continue to lean in with sincerity, compassion, innocence, letting them know that we're listening, nodding, right? Really soft facial expressions if you can. And that's the way the techniques work together, right? So I want you to think about like the body language as the form you hold yourself in. The 5 prompts are the technique to slowly to get them to open up, and you're breathing the entire time. So when I say, please tell me more, and they start going, this is my chance to breathe, to trace my own tension, and to release it from my body. Then when they stop talking, I say, I want to hear everything. Now they start talking again. Now I'm tracing the tension, breathing into it, releasing the fear from my own body. When I say, what's the hardest part to talk about? Now we're getting into the subconscious because now they're thinking, now you're getting kind of deep. And now they're opening up about the thing that they don't talk about. Think about that. When you say, what's the hardest part to talk about? Now they're sharing something with you that they probably haven't told anybody else. That's big. Then when you say, what's your biggest fear about that? Now you're fully in the subconscious. You have surfaced it. You brought it to light, their fear. Okay. Now is where we really want to lean in with that compassion, right? If we're talking to a loved one, we could extend our left hand to actually hold their hand and create a physical connection too, right? If you're talking with a client, you might not do that. Depends on how you relate to your clients. So I want you to understand to see how these techniques work together. The body language is like the delivery, right? That's like your mechanism to communicate the message that you're receptive and you're listening. The 5 prompts pull their pain from the subconscious to the conscious. They put it on the table. And then you're breathing deeply and slowly every step of the way, releasing your own tension. So by the time you get them down to their core fear and it's on the table, you are wide open, compassionate. And that's where we went from your energy being open, their energy being closed and tight, to when they see your eyes being so compassionate and so loving, their energy starts to open and they start to release the pain. That's where the beauty is in this. Okay? That's where the beauty is. Now, when we relay this back to like a loved one and we think of like the ping pong game, and by that I mean like our emotional back and forth arguments and stuff, think about that. We're holding on. Somebody hits, someone returns, hits, returns, hits, returns. We get nowhere, right? We're both closed. All it takes is one person to be open to break the chain. Everyone wants to be open. We all want love. We're all looking for love. We're just looking for love out there when it exists in here. So that's where the conflict comes. So does anyone have any questions about the 5 prompts? We're going to take a break and we're going to come back and we're going to do some simulation and then some partner exercises on hearing a story from our partner, leaning in and saying the 5 prompts. So if you printed up our the suicide prevention training, right? If you printed up this, you could just go to what pages are on. It's on page 7. Okay. Or you could have it open on your computer. All right. On the PDF, it's page 10. So we're going to work with our partners when we come back, and we're going to be listening. We're going to be using body language, and then we're going to be asking the prompts. Okay. We'll be asking the prompts. Sound good? All right. We're going to take a break until 3:45. All right. We're going to take a break till 3:45. All right. I'm going to pause that. I'm going to stop the share, and I'll see you in 15 minutes. All right, we're going to start back up. Whenever you're ready, feel free to jump back on camera.
Brett, I have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm having my other computer. You said it's on page 10, how to listen on the suicide handbook. I just want to make sure I have the right one. Okay, good.
So it's not the handbook, it's the training guide. But if you go into your chat, I put the screenshot in it. So you could just click on that. Can you see it in the
Uh,
chat?
hold on a second. Yeah, I was trying to put it on my other computer. Okay, there it is, so that I
Yeah, so
have it.
if you double click it, let me know if it gets big and you could read it.
Um, oh, I'm sorry about that, about Genevieve.
Yeah, she's a number of hours ahead and she usually puts her helps her husband go to sleep, at this time.
So just want to say thank you, Brett, because Jesus, just when I thought I couldn't get any deeper with your work. Oh my gosh.
It's the human experience is like the Grand Canyon underneath the Grand Canyon underneath the Grand Canyon. It's like a never-ending journey,
And I know, yeah.
but I feel like as long as we get a few concepts down and if we could embody a few tools, then we have all we need to navigate the journey. You know, we have all, but this is a special training because it's not just for our own living. This is like for impacting others, for helping others, but I feel like a way to learn it in hyperspeed is to apply it with those that are closest to us, you know? And I
Yes.
reflect on a training I did like 2 years ago. And one of the folks in it, when I was teaching the 5 prompts, I said, you know what, give it a shot with your spouse the next time you um, are getting into a repetitive argument. And she came back the next training session and was like, I can't even believe what happened. And she told the story in it. And she said, by the time she got to the second question, he just broke down and said that, you know what, it's not even about you. I've had this issue with my mother my whole life. So when we create space, the idea is that the universe is a self-correcting entity. And as we create space without reacting, that the other person, the light bulb goes on inside of them as well. And that also because it created safe space for the light to be shown into the darkness where the reactions were happening. Right. And that's all about putting our paddle down and not playing emotional ping pong. Right. So, the truth be told, Kim, I was trolling your cat. When we were on break, I saw your cat on the couch and I was like, meow. And then the cat looked up and
That's
You're on mute.
Beautiful
Give,
room, Kim.
yeah, it is a really cool
It's
room.
gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. I thought it was sometimes strays get into my garage. And so did you hear me swearing?
No, no, I
Oh, because I
did.
wasn't okay, because I was on mute. So I'm looking at the cat, so I turn quick and I go, what the fuck was that?
I started laughing, but I kind of went on mute when I was laughing because the cat jumped up.
Yes.
Because all you guys were gone, and I'm like, oh, let me play with the cat for a little bit.
Yeah, and all three of my cats, because they're right here with me, all three of them
Yeah,
are going, what's going on?
sorry.
That's okay. No, that's great. Keep them on their toes. Staying around here, not eating the mice, damn them.
Like, aren't they here to entertain us and we're always entertaining them?
I know, right? So, all right, we're gonna get started. Genevieve left to go put her, help her husband to get to sleep. So, yeah, Lori, she's in a similar situation, not
I could
exactly
kind
the
of see
same,
it on
but
her face.
what
I
was
could kind
that?
I could kind of see it on her face.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we're gonna get started. Um, in the second half of our training, we're gonna stay together in the large group and we'll do in the main room. We won't need a breakout room. Um, we're gonna throw one more thing into the mix, which is after we get through the 5 prompts, then we're gonna guide the other person through breath work. So let's say I'm working with Kim, right? And this is important. So I want everyone to pay attention. So let's say I'm working with Kim and I'm starting out with good body language. I'm saying, Kim, please tell me more. And what Kim is going to riff on is the most challenging moment of her last 2 weeks, whatever she wrote down before, right? And we're going to use the 5 prompts on that. Now, the person asking the questions, right? We'll say that's the coach, right? What you're doing is asking the prompts, you're breathing deeply and slowly, and you are tracing the tension out of your own body. Okay. So I want you to open up, or you could use it. I'm going to share my screen. So you could actually use this as a guide, right? We have our 5 prompts here in the middle. It says 5 prompts. And so let's say I'm asking Kim, I'm saying, Kim, please tell me more, right? And then Kim starts telling me more. And as she's telling me, I'm paying close attention to my body. I'm touching the tension, I'm breathing into it. When she's done talking, I say, I want to hear everything. Kim's going to start talking again. And I'm being really aware of my body, tracing the tension out of it, breathing into it, touching it. And then what's the hardest part to talk about? I'm breathing, I'm listening, I'm breathing into my own tightness, my own tension, I'm releasing it. Right? So we're going to go through this nice and slow. After we get to the 5th prompt, we're going to transition to breath work. If you go down, you see it in that mid hue blue, transition to breath work. Everyone see that? Right? So then you're going to say, do you feel any tension in your body? Kim's probably going to say, yeah, I feel some tension somewhere, right? My heart, my stomach, wherever. Would you like to do a breathing exercise to see if we could release some of it? Kim, what would you most likely say if I was working with you and I asked you that?
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, right. Most people are going to say,
Yeah.
yeah. Right? Who doesn't want to release tension? They're coming to you for help anyway, right? Now we're transitioning from the whole spouse thing. Now this is transitioning into a client situation, right?
Mhm.
Because we're not our spouse's counselors.
Right.
So we're going over to the Stress Stopper breath work. I'm gonna guide Kim. Hey Kim, where do you feel that tension in your chest? Okay, I want you to touch it. I want you to breathe deep and slow. I'm gonna be breathing with Kim. And then once per breath, I want you to say, I'm okay. All right. And I'm going to be breathing. Kim's going to be breathing deep and slow. And once per breath, she's going to say, I'm okay. And we're going to repeat that until the tension releases. Okay. So we're going to have this cheat sheet readily available. Kim, are you on a cell phone or on a computer?
Cell phone.
Okay. So I'm trying to think. I'll
I
keep it.
I wrote the prompts down. So
Okay. You have the prompts. So we're
Mhm.
going to, because I want to be able to see us big here when we're
Okay.
doing this. Um,
And I have them on my other computer if I need to refer back to them. So I'm
okay.
good. Yeah, I don't need them. I don't know about Lori.
All right.
I have,
Lori, what about you? Do you
I
have
have,
this image?
I have it on my phone and I'm on my iPad, so I'm good.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. So who wants to go first? Me. Don't jump out of your seats, guys.
Well, you use my name, I'll go.
Okay. So we're going to start with Karen and Kim. Karen's going to be the coach. Kim's going to be the client. And the way we're going to start this exercise out is um, Karen's going to ask Kim, Kim, what was the most challenging, moment in the last 2 weeks? And Kim, you're just going to say what you wrote down on that piece of paper without saying much, but just like the
Okay.
topic, right?
Yep.
And then Karen, your job is going to be to use the body language, right? Lean in, facial expressions, kind of like being in the moment with it and tracing the tension out of your body.
Okay, sorry. I just want to make sure
Okay.
I don't get screwed up with cords. I've got a whole bunch of cords here. So as I'm
Mhm.
leaning in.
Yeah. So you're leaning in,
Yeah.
right? You're asking the prompts and you're being very aware of what's going on in your body. I might jump in just to check in and ask you, Karen, are you feeling any tension? Things like that. After you get to the 5th point, then I want you to transition to breath work. Okay.
So do you want to, I don't need this screenshot. So if you want to like take that off and put,
Yeah. So let's see there. Okay. So we could start in 3, 2, 1, action.
hi, Kim. What was the most challenging experience you had in the last 2 weeks?
Chris going to his new room.
Okay. And can you please tell me more about that?
Well, we were on the, just not where we're supposed to be. And little by little, he's been distancing himself even more. And the last week, he's decided that he will take his evening leisure in his room, which used to be the guest room, and stay there.
What's the hardest part about this?
The fact that he would rather be by himself with a glass of wine than be with me without a glass of wine.
And what's your biggest fear about this?
He loves the other parts of his life more than the parts of his life with me. Because he doesn't drink wine anyplace else but home. And because he's so busy, he's not home a lot. Um, so I only get him part-time. And because he doesn't have much time to drink, he has a tendency to have his 2 glasses of wine, boom, boom. And then there's no really talking to him. And he'll say that, don't talk to me after 8 o'clock.
All right, so now I have a question. Karen, are you getting burnt by the stove or are you feeling it and breathing it and releasing it?
So truth be told, I think I'm so in my head
Mhm,
because we're doing a exercise and
mhm,
and so that I'm there, but I'm not
mhm.
there because I'm like, all right, what do I have to do next? So I'm trying to
Mm,
relax into it,
gotcha.
to really be present. So I'm just sharing that, as we're
Yeah.
like,
Would it be easier for both of you if me and Lori went off camera?
No, because I don't
Maybe.
even see you. I only see
Okay.
Lori.
Okay.
yeah,
I only see
yeah,
Karen.
yeah, that
Okay.
it's it, it's it's okay because you're gonna come in if I like but so I'm just gonna ground myself for a second because
Mhm.
and just so you're asking me what's happening with myself. Um
So, but you answered it. You gave a really good
yeah,
answer. So I want you just to imagine that you have everything you need. Remember, it's in that little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thing right in front of you, right? And that's it, right? You're doing great. Um, as you feel things that Kim is saying, because I want you to, the most important thing is I want you to be in tune with your body. I want you to lean into the emotional content. When she says something that strikes a chord with you, I want you to lean into that chord. I want you to lean into her. So as
okay.
she's opening up, you're actually getting closer and closer. And on Zoom, this is easy to do. Like I do this all the time. Like I'll actually start over here. And as somebody opens up, I don't know if you've noticed this when I'm doing like workshops on Zoom and stuff, I'll actually lean in when they're starting to open up, right? And I'm getting
Yeah. Yeah.
closer as they're starting to open up. Not like right, I do it nice and slow, right? Like I do. So they know that I'm there and I'm not going anywhere and I'm not afraid of what they're saying, right?
Okay.
So Kim, this is a really big thing, right? And I want you to tune into yourself as you're going through your responses and sharing this and and feel into the emotions of it. Okay? Just feel it. You're in a safe place. We're all here. We're here, to learn how to help others, but we're all healing together. Me, you, and Lori and Karen are healing together right now. Right? So let's just breathe into it. Are you comfortable just saying I'm in a safe place?
I'm in a safe place.
I'm in a loving place.
I'm in a loving place.
We're all learning,
We're all learning,
and I'm in a loving place.
and I'm in a loving place.
Let's just say if shit goes sideways,
If shit goes sideways,
he's got me.
he's got me.
If shit goes sideways,
If shit goes sideways,
she's got me.
she's got me.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Now, you might have some conflicting feelings inside about that, or how are you doing? How do you feel?
Yeah, you called me out. So now I do have conflicting feelings. I went into it almost like I was doing an audition for an acting thing. I was using mine to break a real story that does cause me emotional impact so I could emote it to you.
Mhm.
But I distanced myself. I disassociated it with it because I'm in school right now and
Yeah. So
this
let's
is a
just see this
role.
as let's just see
Okay.
this, but it's not a role anymore. You see what we're
I know.
doing right
Okay.
now.
Yep.
We're really helping each other, and you're going to do this
Okay.
for Lori. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
we're going to do this for each other. So
Okay.
we're no longer acting. This is now we're actually asking real questions about real things that are like real for us. You know what I'm saying? Because this is how we learn. This is the best way to learn, as long as we're in a safe environment. Okay. And I
Yep.
promise you, when we leave this session, we're all gonna be feeling good, because I'm not gonna
Okay.
press end to this Zoom until we land the plane. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So I want us to feel safe, and we're just gonna go into it and just feel the questions, feel your expression of it, Kim. Take your time with it. Take your time with it, Karen. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Kim, what does it feel like what does it feel like for you?
You could start earlier, Karen. I would
Okay,
go,
so
yeah, yes,
okay,
like in the 5
okay,
questions.
okay. So you mean what is the hardest part to talk about?
I would start with, please tell me more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please tell me more, Kim, of what's going on.
Well, I know he's trying because he used to start drinking wine if he was home at 7. Now he's waiting to go into his room. Um, it was 8, then it was 8:30. Last night, I think it was 9:15. Um, so in his mind, I know he's taking positive forward steps. But because we're not really communicating, I can't tell him that every time he does that, he's actually taking a step backwards.
So so stay with you for a second. What is this doing to you?
Well, I'm breathing, so I'm no longer throwing things at him or saying, fine, leave, fuckface. Um, and now I put stuff on the couch for when he leaves to do something. I am breathing, I am keeping positive thoughts, but I'm not at peace at all.
What would you like to say to him?
All right, but Karen, now I want
Yeah,
to be aware that now
okay.
we're going off the 5
That's
questions,
the
right?
questions.
And I
Okay,
want you
yeah,
to realize, no, I know.
yeah.
So just realize that the 5 questions, the 5 prompts,
Yeah.
it's almost like a funnel, right?
Okay, so now I'm going to what is the hardest part to talk about? What's the hardest, Kim, what's
Yeah.
the hardest part to talk about?
The f-
Take your time, Kim.
That I don't know how to communicate with him because it seems like when I try, I push him away. Or he's afraid I'm going to push him away, maybe. I don't know. But it's hard for me to to think that he likes it better anywhere I'm not.
So Karen, I want you to adjust your body language, right? Think about the body language prompts. And then Kim, what's the most hurtful part of all this?
Eventually, he's gonna like that better. Um,
What's your biggest fear about that?
that I'll be less and less included to the point where I don't exist in his world. And I don't
And
want
what's
to
the,
do that again.
and what's the worst case scenario of that?
Somebody else vacating the premises.
Do you feel any tension in your body, Kim?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
Where, Kim? All right. Can you
Normally
touch
it's my
that?
stomach, but it's right here. It's
Yeah. Would you like to do a little exercise to see if we could release some of that tension?
absolutely.
All right. Can you just touch it like you are? You're doing really good. Just start breathing deeply and slowly into the tension. Okay. And on the exhale, I just want you to let out a little sound.
Uh,
Yeah, any sound that wants to come out. Breathing into it,
uh,
breathing deeply and slowly. Breathing right
uh,
into it. Yeah, breathing right into it, letting the airflow get in there a little bit deeper. Really letting it merge with that pain. See if the airflow will start to sink into it. And let me know what's happening.
okay. The air is opening it a little.
And as you're breathing deeply and slowly, I just want you to say, I know it's scary.
I know it's scary. It's scary.
We're going to be okay.
It'll be okay.
We're going to be okay. And if any thoughts or feelings want to come up and out, just express them.
My okays have to be better than past okays when somebody vacated, because when I think when I think those spikes in my psyche, those pierces in my soul, when I think they're gone,
Kim, who vacated?
who didn't? Um,
What's the first one that comes to mind? Like the
my
big,
dad, my dad.
yeah. So,
And then um my son's biological father,
mm. Which one has more emotional weight to it, your dad or your son's
dad,
biological
my dad, my
dad?
dad.
So when you say my dad, where do you feel the tension? All right.
Right in my chest.
Yeah. So what do you think I want you to do with that? Breathe into it.
Oh,
I want you to embrace it with your touch, your breath. What's coming up now? What's happening?
it wants to, I think it wants,
What does it want?
waiting for me.
Tell me more.
My past does not dictate my future. He was dumb. He didn't know any better. My mom was batshit crazy too.
Breathe into it, Kim. Just say, I'm not these stories.
I'm not these stories, but I am.
I know, I know. We're going to make a distinction between your experience, your body, and the real you. Just breathe into it and start accepting it, right? Bringing the breath into it. When we touch it and breathe into it, that's the first phase of acceptance. So it doesn't have to panic. It's not alone anymore, right? It doesn't have to panic. It's not alone anymore. It has the touch, has the connection, it has your breath, it has everything it needs. And we're just embracing that fear in the body, Kim. That fear's been in your body and your lineage for God knows how long. These cycles have been repeating for God knows how long.
Want to repeat them,
Mhm.
but I have.
Come back to the breath, right? Breathing right into it. We all are on the wheel. It's a karmic wheel. We're all repeating until we step off the wheel. And right now, by breathing and receiving, you're slowly stepping off that wheel. What?
I see the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And I see my dad, my aunts. They don't want me on the wheel with them.
Where's that feeling, Kim?
In here
Karen,
now.
that's right. Moved up a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So, Karen, I want you to notice like what I'm doing is really tuning into Kim. And then I felt the emotions change a little bit, right?
I
Because
felt
it,
it like,
yeah.
yeah.
And the emotions change when she said they don't want me. So, not feeling wanted. So, this is a big one, Kim, right? The illusion that you're not wanted, right? We bought into that illusion that we weren't wanted a long time ago. And then we kept on manifesting a reality that proved us right, that they don't want me. But guess what? There's a way to prove everything wrong. And I think we said this a while ago, Kim. I want me. And let this up and out. Breathe right into it. Embrace it. Embrace that. I want me. Just, yeah, you're doing beautifully, Kim. And I want you to breathe into that tension, that pain. Let it start to wash through all the times of feeling unwanted. Breathe into it. I want me. And even if that doesn't feel real, Kim, fully, just say, you know what? Someone wants me.
Me.
God is chasing me down.
God is chasing me down.
And I'm not running anymore.
I'm
God
not
wants
gonna.
to God wants to awaken in me.
God wants to awaken in me.
God has been wanting to awaken in me.
He's been wanting to awaken me.
God has been wanting to awaken in me
God has been wanting to awaken in me
for lifetimes.
for lifetimes.
And I'm just going to surrender.
And I'm going to surrender
To make it easier.
to make it easier.
And just breathe into it. Universe, I give you my pain.
Universe, God, I give you this pain.
Breath, take my tension.
Breath, take my attention.
Keep breathing into your heart and just share anything that wants to come out or any layer that's coming up without judging it. No censor.
I felt that.
What do you feel?
Like a slight loosening. I think I can almost see my vagus nerve.
Mm, good. Imagine your breath is gently going up and down it like the bow on a violin.
Mm.
Mm. Creating that slight vibration of peace and ease. And you're just breathing.
Mm.
And just let me know what's happening.
Tiger hasn't left. But it's just being a cub now.
Do you know when the tiger leaves?
Mm.
When we get into heaven. As long as you have a body, you have a tiger.
Okay.
That's
Then
why I always
then
tell people you gotta feed the tiger and you gotta take the tiger for walks. If you keep the tiger
right.
in the cage, it will break out and rampage.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we just take it for walks by expressing it, breathing into it, listening to it, letting it talk. Right? So many, many moons ago, there was an experience when you were younger that you thought your father didn't want you. That created a ton of pain and created illusion that he doesn't want me, they don't want me. And then that story, because you were so upset, started triggering other people in your life. And then they were showing you that, right? And then that inner pain of they don't want me, he doesn't want me, got bigger and bigger over time, right? And it just echoed through different relationships and different experiences, right? But as we go back and we feel it, we embrace it, we let it talk, we let it out into the open, we let it express and breathe and move and even play maybe, right? Um, that's when it starts to work itself out. And that's when I say the universe is a self-correcting thing. When we create enough safe, loving space, these things just start to unwind and release, unwind and release, unwind and release. All right. All of my affairs are in divine order.
All of my affairs are in divine order.
I'm reconnecting with my sweetness.
I'm reconnecting with my sweetness that nobody wants to really leave.
You catch more flies with honey.
You catch more flies with honey.
The bees always come for honey. Everybody loves the honey, right? Everyone loves the honey.
Everyone loves the honey.
Everyone loves the honey. And then just say, holy cow,
Holy cow.
for some reason,
For some reason,
it's easier
it's easier
for me to share that honey
for me to share that honey
with those that don't know me.
with those that don't know me.
In some of the harshest places,
Some of the harshest places.
I can just let it out.
I can let it out.
But now
But now
I want to share it
I want to share it
with those closest to me.
with those closest to me.
And that's scary.
It's petrifying,
Yeah, but I'm going to let it happen organically.
but I'll let it happen organically.
The sweetness I show those kids in Newburgh,
The sweetness I can show those kids in Newburgh,
I'm going to share it with my inner family.
I'm going to share with my inner family and not be afraid.
Mhm. And allow it
And allow it
to quench the thirst inside me.
to quench the thirst inside me.
To flood the deserts
Flood
internally.
the deserts internally.
I let the sweetness flow.
And let the sweetness flow.
Right where I'm petrified,
Right where I'm petrified,
I breathe into the fear.
I breathe into the fear.
And let the pain go.
And let the pain go.
And let the sweetness flow.
And let the sweetness flow.
I want you to imagine that sweetness going into the pain, Kim.
My dad is
Breathing.
stuck in it.
Yeah, I want you to breathe it right where he's in you. I want you to breathe right into him. Surround it, coat him in it, let it run through his veins as it fills up inside of you. See what he looks like when he's softened by the sweetness. See what he feels like when he's softened by the sweetness. Let it out. You don't got to hold anything in. What's happening?
I just need to forgive him for real.
Mm-hmm.
I forgave him when he was here, but there was still that bit,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still here. He doesn't want it there either.
Breathe into it. You're doing great. Breathe into it and touch it. And just say, Holy Spirit, I want our souls to fly free.
Holy Spirit, I want our souls to fly free.
Untangle us
Untangle us
from the karma
from the karma
of all these lifetimes
all these lifetimes
and all that old energy.
and all that old energy.
So our souls are completely free.
So our souls are completely free.
I'm free. He's free.
I'm free. He's free.
The sweetness is in me.
The sweetness is in me.
Hey, Daddy. Let's breathe into it. I'm gaining back
I'm gaining back
everything I ever lost
everything I ever lost
in our relationship.
in our relationship.
I'm gaining it
I'm gaining it
in myself.
for myself.
In myself.
In myself.
And I just want you to just breathe deeply and slowly. Maybe open up your shoulders a little bit, like back, to open up your chest if you can, and just lean back and just have one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly button, and just take a few moments to breathe deeply and slowly. And I'm just going to talk a little bit to Karen and Lori.
Mhm.
So if you step back, I kind of came in because I wanted to demonstrate like the funnel of the way the 5 questions work, and then show if you could use the transition statement to get right over to simple breath work, right? But then what happened? These techniques are technical, but they bring us into the mystical. All that means is that the technique gets us into position where if we've released all of our stress and their pain is on the surface and they feel safe enough with us to show it, then your intuition takes completely over. It's important to understand that. These techniques get us to that moment where the core pain's on the surface and the practitioner, the coach, is free of stress so that he or she can listen to the intuition that wants to come through, the healing, right? So that's all that happened, right? Using the questions, transitioning to breath work, doing stress stopper breath work, and then plumes of emotion started coming up. We used the touch and the breath to always tether to the present moment. Like when it felt like it was getting too much, come back to the breath and the touch. When it felt like it was moving, come back to the breath and the touch. And leave an open space to express, right? So my only hope is that Kim felt heard and safe enough to say whatever she wanted to, like when those emotions were coming up, right? As the coach. That's what my goal is, to create a safe space so that the emotions that are coming up, they just start to flow through, like there's no blockages of in the back of the mind, like I can't say that, right? That's what keeps the pain inside. As we release all of our stress, Kim's going to feel safer with me, right? If I'm not, remember, it's about frequency, right? So when Kim is in a state of pain, she's closed, but if I stay open, she eventually is going to come closer and closer and closer. If I'm leaning in, to being open, and we're going to match frequencies. Now, when we've had one-on-one sessions, you could all probably talk to this. By the end of the session, when we're doing like a little bit of breath work together, we're both in resonance, right? We're both in that resonance, right? So, um, Kim, be totally honest. How do you feel right now? Like what's going on inside?
I'm sort of floaty.
Mm-hmm.
I need to ground. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna put my feet on the ground in a moment.
Good.
But my chest is so much better. And I never get stressed there. But
Mm-hmm.
I've had it half the day. And I didn't know
Mm.
what it was. I thought I pulled muscles
Mm-hmm.
because I've been working out, and that's gone too. So that's what it was.
Yeah. So the thing with this work too is like your body knows what's going to happen before it actually happens, right?
Mhm.
If anyone's come to a retreat, like all of a sudden when you're driving, getting closer, sometimes more stuff
Yes.
comes up. You're like,
Yes.
by the time you get there. So like the body's already like getting ready to just, let this stuff come up. So,
Well, I have to thank you and Karen, because I was getting those blocks, you
mhm.
know? And I remember thinking, you can't tell him you see your father right now. They're going to call the loony bin. Um, and that fact that he's stuck, but I lost it very, very quickly.
But that was a key point in the session when you brought him up, I feel. You know what I mean? Because then we started merging and expanding the sweetness into how you perceive him and how you hold him in your consciousness, how you hold him, right? Which was probably in a place of more tension. But then we started to introduce the sweetness. I don't know if you remember this, but I think we even said like breathing it through him, letting it soak into him, the sweetness. And you were like, hi, daddy, right?
And and he, oh my God. And then my head went back to, you're right, my head went back to so many times where he was being a good dad,
Mhm.
and although they were fleeting, it was mostly in my adult life. Um, when we got our shit back together. Um, yeah, he was reminding me, well, why do you dwell there, dumbass?
Sorry.
It's a whole like, look, I always think of like the rainbow of all the different colors, right? And if you like green better than you like blue, focus on the green, right? If you
Right.
like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
if green makes you feel
Right.
expansive, just like we were talking about how we felt when those two different sentences, right? If green makes you feel expansive and blue makes you feel tense, well, look at the green more, right? Focus on the green more, right? Because your body's gonna always respond to that certain stimuli. So, yeah.
Holy
Right.
crap. That
Okay.
was, thank you.
You're welcome. So that's this was important, I feel, because I really wanted Karen, I wanted you to see like so it's tough because you have such a good background in mental health and being a coach and a counselor and a social worker and a therapist. So with this technique, it's really important as you're learning it to stick right to it, just to go
Yeah.
boom, 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 right down the line, and then transition to breath work, and then just get into it. And then when the emotions start to come, then you're just, hey, touch it, trace it. And you're doing the same thing. Like we're both releasing the tension, the coach and the client at the same time. And the wild thing is the coach has got to be the cheerleader in releasing tension first. Okay. So like, let's say, Karen, we're doing a session, you tell me something, I'm like,
I'm sorry,
oh, wow, I
kitty.
really feel that. Right. That's happened a lot. But immediately it becomes second nature to me to breathe into it and release it. So now the dam that was holding back the freedom and the healing is broken in me because I released the tension. And now it's going to connect with you. Okay. But I have to break that chain in me in that moment to allow it to come through. So it's a game of releasing tension in me as I'm listening, tracing it out of my body, and then I could guide you through releasing yours. If I'm full of tension, I literally can't I can't help you with yours because even if I did the technique perfectly with, let's say I forgot to do myself, I would still be vibrating tension. So you wouldn't be able to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yeah, I actually do. And it's so interesting because I was following my thoughts, and my thoughts are like, oh my God, you will never be able to do this. And then I caught myself, I'm like, come back. Because I was really just focusing on Kim, and then I was trying to listen to you, but really focus. And it was just all this doubt, like you're never going to do this, like he does it so much better. And then then there's part of me going, I'm not trying to do it like Brett, I want to do it like Karen, like so.
Yes.
So I'm trying to, like, I have like three selves going on, like that. I'm like go like this and focus. So it is pretty intensive. And then that other analytical part is like, how does he do that? Where does those voice come from? Like, so literally, this is what's going on in me that I'm trying to be aware of. Well, I
Remember,
am
the
aware of it.
universe is a self-correcting universe. Everything wants to work out. So when I'm releasing my tension, I'm opening up a clear blackboard for pure intuition and pure inspiration, whatever you want to call it, spirit, the little doctors and nurses and people that want to come through me and assist Kim in releasing her because it's healing the both of us. To allow the wave to come through, I just have to part the Red Sea with my personality, right? I have to just like quiet my thinking mind and just breathe and be compassionate. Lean in with the childlike curiosity and use the 5 prompts and the breath work as a crutch to get me into the moment to where pure compassion is there. Kim's purely emoting, and now the universe takes over. It uses me as an instrument. It just uses you as an instrument, right? So imagine it's like there's infinite amazing healing energies that want to come through you, me, you, all of us, right?
Yeah.
Infinite. And it changes, the conductor changes, the symphony changes behind us based on who the other person is, who the client is, because they have people in their symphony that want to come through and help them for lifetimes, right? Think it's a big healing cycle. It's a long healing cycle, but if we could stay present and not worry, that's why I wanted to put that, that image up, right, of the 5 prompts so that you wouldn't have to think so much, just like the 5 prompts and then go right to transition to breath work. That is so key. It gets you into that moment. It's almost like it gets you into the moment, for like a baseball analogy, of like the bottom of the ninth, or I don't even know the top of the bottom of the ninth. Anyway, the last person at bat and they're down by 3 runs and they hit a grand slam. And that's 4 runs in, right? It's like that's the grand slam moment when like the person's emoting. I'm sure Kim will pop back in. And the person's emoting and we're clear. So the whole session is about asking the 5 prompts, releasing your tension, leaning in, leaning in, leaning in, almost to where you like merge. Then you open up and your intuition comes through. It always comes through. Just be patient with it. It'll come through. And even you see how much time there was times in our conversation with Kim and I where it was silent for a while. You have to be okay in the silence.
Oh, that silence was beautiful, because as that silence, I was just experiencing it and with it. That's when all the miracles were happening. That's when the clearing was happening. That's when the universe was like, finally, I can get in there and get that heart open, or whatever it was trying to do, or fix up. So it was really pretty amazing to, you know, listen, this work is not for a lot of people because it
No,
really is. It's to work with someone, to clean up our own stuff, it's a lot. And even like I said, the exercise earlier, just how much our environment does affect so much. It's so subtle. Like, I
It is.
think that if I have to say, your work really shines a light on the subtle nuances, the subtle things that are so important. I don't know how to say it any differently than that. Like the things that people, aren't even aware of. It's just those little, it's the little, just subtle things that we change. So anyhow.
It is. yeah, there are these like subtle cues and subtle things. And then, but what it accumulates to is this symbiotic spiritual heart surgery, right?
Yeah.
Symbiotic in that the person I'm helping is actually helping me release pain the whole way. Little micro releases, let's call it micro tension releases. Oh, yeah, please tell me more. Oh, this came up in me. Boom, let it go. Boom, releasing, breathing into it. I'm unraveling as she's expressing her pain.
So, and I wouldn't say this to just anyone. What you're showing me or witnessing in both of you is a connection and an intimacy. And when I'm using that word, I'm using it in a very different
Yeah.
way.
No, I know
Um,
it is.
yeah, of
It's like an emotional intimacy and a spiritual intimacy.
but see, I think this is where I get confused because I go into that hierarchy of like you formed a partnership. I think I go into a hierarchy. Okay, I'm like the what do you call it? I'm just gonna say the healer here.
Yeah.
I never think of receiving, even though I can hear you go breathing and receiving the other person's stuff as a way to heal myself. I only have seen it one-sided, if I'm being really honest. Like it's that over responsibility part of me. I'm seeing all this as I'm saying all this. But I witnessed you in sharing what was going on with you, a real partnership, because that's what partnerships do. They're there for each other. You help release, support. It's not a it's not it's not a hierarchy, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm using.
But to keep the dynamic from the and the coach and the client relationship clean,
Right.
it's they don't
Yes.
need to know that you're releasing this.
And
No.
that's why I said I would only say this in front of you and
Yeah.
in front of us. Because you can't say that to someone who's just coming into the field. They wouldn't understand that.
Mm.
Yes, and but you wouldn't say that to your client either.
Right,
Like, you know what I'm
exactly.
saying? I'm
Yeah. No,
expressing this
no.
because we're in this learning
Yeah, that's
space,
what I'm
you know?
saying.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It's the
Yeah.
way I'm looking at it, the way
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
seeing the relationship. Yeah, this is like I'm talking to you like 25 light years. Like this is,
Yeah.
you know, I'm seeing how the partnership is so important, but it benefits both parties. Even like I've never looked at it like that, is I guess what is I'm trying to say. I've always seen like I've got to know the answers. I've got to know how to do it. I've got to know the
Right.
5 prompts, which is the stuff that blocks me from, meeting up with the guides and the nurses and all, and
Mhm.
your dad or whoever, like
Yeah.
because I'm so stuck in my head, unconsciously of like, okay, what am I going to do? I got to make, and I don't do this all the time,
Hmm.
but in doing this kind of work, like this is no different than what we talked about earlier with me running away. That stuff in my head, like you'll never do this, you're not worthy. All that bullshit is part of the running process for me.
This is why this is so important to me. Like when I'm doing a session, and I do most of my coaching sessions remotely, right? Meaning like I'm on the phone, I'm laying down, the other person's laying down. I feel like I'm almost like in an energetic wave, receiving a wave of like peace and healing. And then that translates through to that person through my words and through the affirmations, right? And through their breath work. And they're anchoring and receiving that wave through the breath work and their guides in their space. But I'm receiving it, all the healing before and sometimes as they are receiving it, right? So everything that they're getting, I'm getting,
Right. It's
usually
not
right
you,
before.
it's not you, Brett. It's not your ego, Brett. It's coming, and this is what you've been trying to, and this is very hard to teach. This is
Yeah.
because the work is the inner work. Like we have to do the work. We have to just get out of the way. But that's the hardest part of the work.
The way I look at it another way, when you were talking, I saw this like a little brook. Imagine like a little brook, right? And imagine it's like a really hot day, and you actually lay down in these on these river rocks, and the water's running all around you. And then the client is about like, I don't know, 6 to 10 feet downstream, laying down and receiving everything that you have first received. So we are receiving the breath, we are receiving the touch as they're talking. And it's almost as if the 5 prompts are obviously helping them communicate their feelings and open up about their emotions, but it's helping me open up too and release tension from my body. So by the time we get to the top of the ninth, right, when we get to that moment when the big stuff comes out, right, we're not like, oh my God, how do we get here? Or maybe it normally takes 3 to 5 years to get there with somebody, right? We're like, oh, here we are. And now the intuition kicks in, right? And that's where the trust of the universe, because the universe has been waiting for human beings to get to this place. Like these issues and these pains have been buried for so long in our DNA. You know what I'm saying? In our lineages and in our ancestors. So when we come to a place, the universe is like, it wakes up around us. It goes, oh, we got a moment. Let's show up, right? And it all starts to come through. And as long as we are open, right? That's why we're tracing our tension out throughout the process. When we get to that moment, we're open, there's no stress in us, and we are just leaned in. And the body language works with the subconscious. It's not just to make them feel um, comfortable with you. We are emulating and we are demonstrating receptive body language. So we're also able to receive from the universe. Does that make sense? Like
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
working on so many different levels. You know what I'm saying? The body language, the breath work, the 5 prompts, then the transition when we get to that core issue on the table, and we're like, okay, now it's time to slide over to breath
Brett,
work.
this is no different than if you're an actor, an artist, painter. It's getting out of that performance energy and opening up, because whether you're an actor and you're putting stuff out, it comes through
Mhm.
you, singer,
Right.
whatever,
They
painter.
surrender to the energy of the role. So
Yeah.
this is what Anthony Hopkins said. I forgot,
Oof.
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke, I think, was talking about him.
Yeah.
He said that he asked him like what his like, trick was, and he said, I read the script 250 times, and then I turn myself over to an unknown set of circumstances, which means memorize the 5 prompts and surrender. Right? Memorize the 5 prompts, be in the moment, and just surrender to it.
If I can just, you're right, because I didn't know with that little girl and her cranky partner, I didn't know I was in a partnership, but I left that, 6.5 minute relationship feeling really good.
Hmm.
So it is definitely a partnership. And until you said that, I didn't realize it. I felt really good. And I don't remember I was breathing.
Mhm.
I do know that, but yeah, it,
In 1999 or 2000, there was this one session I had in California, and the woman has a testimony on our website. She wrote that the session enabled her to visit the perfect space of her existence,
hmm,
where like a touchstone, she can go beyond her biggest problems into a place where she is free. So the partnership is like me as the coach in this work. I guide you to that perfect place within both of us, right? Within you, and I'm breathing it through within me, right? And then you have it. You arrive there. No one can take that from you. You arrive there. You could go back there. When you're meditating, you can remember what it felt like. You could pick one moment from that session and just crystallize it and hone it, right? Your favorite moment, your favorite feeling from it, maybe an
mhm,
image or a color. But
mhm,
you go back to it, like your favorite color in the rainbow, and you just let it marinate in there and you let it grow and you nurture it, right? But it is a partnership, like Karen had mentioned, like that partnership. But where are we going? The partnership is visiting the perfect place of your existence, right? And then once you touch down there, it's like you put the flag down. I've arrived here, right? You felt it. You saw it. You had feelings. In your body, you had the sensations of it. And now you just revisit it and cultivate it. And that's like a new normal, but in a good way, right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
So
Mm,
that's the new normal. That's like the meeting of the meeting of your true nature. Communing with your true nature, right? So all the pains, like when Lori was speaking earlier about something that was happening in that other group, Lori, I thought you said the guy mentioned the pain is the gift because underneath the pain, just like a lump of coal, if you looked at a lump of coal from the outside, you wouldn't know that there was a diamond inside of it. But that's the way the pain is because the light, the self-correcting part of the universe is waiting to get in there, is waiting, like knocking, knocking, waiting for the moment. The moment. When's she going to feel safe enough? When's she going to be guided to express all this stuff? Right? Here we go. There it is. It's right there. There's the moment, to let the light in.
mm.
Right? So it's bound to happen at some point, at some lifetime, but I feel like we have an opportunity to anchor it in, this lifetime. So any questions about anything we just spoke about?
I have one.
Yeah.
Um, because when you've coached me in a one-to-one via phone,
Mhm.
and I didn't know how to do a Zoom thing, so we had to do it just telephone. Um, there is no body language. So
Mhm.
is there a natural, how do you get there? Because I'm never going to have, I'm too old to have the expertise that you have ever. But
Kim, you have no idea. Your lights are like on a different level. Okay, but here's what I want to say. When I go and I am laying down, remember it's 93% of human communication comes through body language and tone. So
tone,
it comes
right?
through my tone when I'm on the phone, right? The tone is my tool to communicate what wants to come through. The tone is like the frequency vibrator, right? That frequency, like that thing that the initial, the physical frequency, and then all the other healing energies ride in right on it, right?
Okay,
That tone. So the tone is the key there. And then when
okay,
I'm in person or on Zoom, it's tone and body language. Okay.
okay,
But however,
Kim,
when I'm laying down, I'm tracing the tension out of my body. So I'm not like curling up in it. I'm embracing it. I'm breathing into my tension. I'm releasing it. So that's important to know too. Yeah. Karen, you were
Kim, I
supposed to.
wish you could see what we all see with you because you have no idea and I'm going to use this very lightly but very strongly, how powerful your energy is and how dynamic your energy is and how healing your energy is. I know you don't see it. I know you don't see it and I know you don't feel it. But let me tell you something. I can.
Yeah.
And and
well, thank you.
and I adore, and maybe if I was, like someone like sometimes I just love your sarcasm because you make me laugh so hard. Because it's just, it's just part of your whole personality. And I think this is what I was trying to say to you, Brett, earlier. I'm never going to be a Brett. I want to be a Karen.
Yes.
Yeah, and Kim, you're Kim. You're never gonna be a Brett, but you have more stuff than you even are aware of. And Lori, same thing for you. So I mean, it's just amazing, and I just think it, Brett, the layers that you like are able to peel from all of us to get down to that true essence. You know, and I don't know if we'll ever get there, but you're helping us find our diamonds in all of us. So
We're there. We're there. We're just getting through the clunky parts of it. We're there.
we're just it's like
We're
today I was
there.
cleaning jewelry before I came on. And it's like we're just cleaning it
Yes.
up.
And then with the comparisons, just think that we are just each of us are a speck on the disco ball. We're what like how like the disco ball is made of all those different reflective
Mhm.
specks. We're just a speck on the disco ball. I just have 25 years or 26 years now of just doing this thing that I got addicted to in 1999 because I have an addictive personality, right? So yeah, that's just after time. It's over time. Like my first teacher said, it was a self-purification process. That's what it is. And that's what we're doing. And Karen, you described it as
Hmm.
peeling back layers. And that's what we're doing. Peeling back all the chunky layers that were never the real us. That's all we're doing. And we're cleaning off the jewelry. Right? We're cleaning off the jewelry. Think of it that way. So,
Just by
I,
being a witness,
mhm,
that was so deep for me just to feel all of that. And I did,
mm,
as if you were talking to me.
Hmm.
beautiful.
That is beautiful. That's very often how I feel at the retreats.
Mm,
When I go to a retreat, excuse me. Wow, I don't have to be the person that Brett is helping through. Oh my gosh, yeah. So it's more than you partner with anybody whose spirit is open and wants to piggy. Wow, yeah, yeah. That's. I'm sorry. Now my brain is
No,
going. "Bleh."
we feel it.
no,
We
no,
feel
but think
each
about
other,
this.
each other's pain.
We're all part of the symphony. Like Laura, you have a symphony of spirit guides and healing entities around you. Same thing with myself, Karen, Kim. We all do, right? And let's say I'm working with Lori. Because you're witnessing and you're part of this, your party is going on too. Like if you're open to it, if you're like, you know what, I want to receive. Well, guess what? The drummer in your healing circle, that's in your spirit guide is like, I'm playing with you now. You know what I mean? The frequencies are all there for us. The universe is a self-correcting thing. And these are like these golden moments where we can tap into it. Where we could tap into it. It is a very slow moving masterpiece. But in these
Mm,
moments, we kind of cut to the chase, right? When we come together with one goal, right? Today we came together with like, I want to learn how to help people. And you know my style. My style is helping ourselves, and at the same time, we're learning how to share it with others too. But it's like we got to clean the vessel, you know? So that's all that, if we boil it down, we're just cleaning the vessel and we're learning. And I would love it for you to practice. Um, like I think the biggest takeaway today, Lori, was like the self-acceptance, self-forgiveness, being gentle with ourselves, right? And then when we're finding ourselves in that conflict, going right to self, let me release the stress. If I got to take a walk and express it, let me express it and let me just come back to it. And with our spouses, we're really not going to be able to get through all 5 prompts. But if you can just lean in with the body language, release your own stress and say, tell me more, right? I want to hear everything. What's the hardest part to talk about? If you get through the first 2 or 3 of those, it's going to totally change the dynamic of the interaction, especially if you're releasing your own tension. So continue to play with that. Continue to play with your biggest, the biggest trigger in your personal life. And if you are seeing people and you are, helping people like on the fly, right? Like Kim was talking about, just be aware of the body language, the left side lean in, releasing your own tension, right? Following your intuition, right? And if you want to get somebody to open up, the first 2 or 3, 5 prompts, right? But I want you to remember the sooner you memorize the 5 prompts, the sooner you don't have to think about it and they just roll off your tongue. And I had to memorize the crap out of them. And because like, look, after I wrote the Suicide Prevention Family Handbook, actually, no, it was a year before that where I actually wrote out the 5 prompts. And then when I was on podcast, guess what? I had to remember them. My memory is not good, right? So I had to sit there and memorize it, memorize it, memorize it, memorize it, so that when I'm asked on the podcast, and I remember the first time I was asked on a podcast and I got them all out, I was like, oh my God, that was amazing. But there were times that I wasn't able to get them all out, right? So it's like accepting ourselves even, in those moments. But I'll just say that if you could put a little time in and just to kind of get them in and be like you start to feel a click in, like Tetris, they start to fall into place. And then it becomes more natural, the body language, the breathing. But let's really get to the body language, the breathing with that stress we have. Next week, our little bit of the homework for this week is when we come back, let's have a pretty good command of the 5 prompts and leaning into our bigger stressors, right? Breathing, releasing, listening, okay? And next week, we're going to have a lot of repetitions. So, Laura, you're going to go a few times. Karen, you're going to go more. Kim, you're going to go next week. Genevieve's going to go, right? We're going to like tighten it up on everyone getting repetitions, going through the 5 prompts. And if you review it more this week, it'll be easier to be natural. And you could feel your own body. You could feel the release, okay? So that's,
So wait, it's not next Sunday, it's the 5th, right?
you're right. Okay. So that is not next Sunday. That is
Yeah,
in the
or
first,
the 7th, the
yeah, the
7th?
7th in December.
So
Right.
yeah,
So
I
you have a
may
lot
be,
of time.
yeah, I might be a little tricky for that one, because
That's okay.
I got a whole bunch of people coming down to
That's all right.
Florida.
We can,
So,
Good again,
we can practice. I need
yeah.
practice.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
want,
If
I
any,
just want to read you some before we end, so you finish talking and then I just want to read something.
yeah. So if anyone wants to do a practice session, we could do that. We could probably reach out on WhatsApp because I think, are all of us on that or no?
Yeah,
I
I
am,
think,
I think. I'm not on Facebook, but I'm
Yeah,
on
you're on
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, Kim. So why don't we do that? If we can reach out that way. If we make a group, I'll make a group. I'll email
Okay.
Genevieve. I'll make a
Yep.
group. If anyone wants to practice and just keep it really, really cookie cutter, 5 prompts, listening, leaning in, and then transitioning to breath work and just allowing stuff to come up and breathing deeply and slowly, right? Just keeping it nice and smooth and slow. And you don't got to worry, do it in a safe space. That would be great. Lori, we're going to say?
so I asked Brian Scott to send me the lyrics to a couple of his songs because they were so powerful, I couldn't stop listening on repeat. And he's having like an album release on Friday night where everybody's going to sing. So I really wanted to know them, but these are the words that really get me. Remember who you really are. Remember you're a burning star. Hidden fire, sacred light. You were born to burn so bright. Remember, dreams like ghosts fade in the dark. Wounds that left their question mark. Mirror shows a stranger's eyes, but underneath the truth still lies. Something vast and something true, something only known by you. Ancient echoes call my name. Nothing here is quite the same. Remember who you really are. Remember you're a burning star. Hidden fire, sacred light. You were born to burn so bright. Before the world told you no, before you learned to let things go, there was magic in your bones, power written in your stones. You are more than what you see. You are all you'll ever need. Remember who you really are. Remember you're a burning star. The one who dreams is dreaming still, always was and always will.